only underlined that we are all in it together. America's economic well-being depends on the world's, and America's economic leadership is key to global prosperity and security. She warned against isolationism that would undermine such prosperity both at home and abroad. The numbers behind the proven experience that government protection of ordinary people is good for economic growth got the blessing of the Royal Swedish Academy of Sciences on Monday when it awarded the Nobel Memorial Prize in Economic Sciences to Darren Acemoglu and Simon Johnson, both of the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, and to James Robinson of the University of Chicago. Their research explains why societies with a poor rule of law and institutions that exploit the population do not generate growth or change for the better, while democracies do. Although democracy has been delivering for Americans, Donald Trump and MAGAs rose to power by convincing those left behind by 40 years of supply-side economics that their problem was not the people in charge of the government, but rather the government itself. Trump wants to get rid of the current government so that he can enrich himself, do whatever he wants to his enemies, and avoid answering to the law. The Christian nationalists who wrote Project 2025 want to destroy the federal government so they can put in place an authoritarian who will force Americans to live under religious rule. Tech elites like Elon Musk and Peter Thiel want to get rid of the federal government so they can control the future without having to worry about regulations. In place of what they insist is a democratic system that has failed, they are offering a strongman who they claim will take care of people more efficiently than a democratic government can. The focus on masculinity and portrayals of Trump as a muscled hero, much as Russian President Vladimir Putin portrays himself, fit the mold of an authoritarian leader. But the argument that Americans need a strongman depends on the argument that democracy does not work. In the last 3.5 years, Biden, Vice President Kamala Harris, and the Democrats have proved that it can, so long as it operates with the best interests of ordinary people in mind. Trump and Vance's outlandish lies about the federal response to Hurricane Helene are designed to override the reality of a competent administration addressing a crisis with all the tools it has. In its place, the lies provide a false narrative of federal officials ignoring people and trying to steal their property. Their attack on democracy has another problem as well. In addition to the reality that democracy has been delivering for Americans for more than 3 years now, and pretty dramatically, Trump is no longer a strongman. Vice President Kamala Harris is outperforming him in the theater of political dominance. And as she does so, his image is crumbling. In an article in U.S. News and World Report yesterday, NBC's former chief marketer, John D. Miller, apologized to America for helping to create a monster. Miller led the team that marketed The Apprentice, the reality TV show that made Trump a household name. To sell the show, Miller wrote, we created the narrative that Trump was a super successful businessman who lived like royalty. But the truth was that he declared bankruptcy 6 times, and the imposing boardroom where he famously fired contestants was a set because his real boardroom was too old and shabby for TV, Miller wrote. While Trump loved the attention the show provided, more successful CEOs were too busy to get involved in reality TV. Miller says they promoted the show relentlessly, blanketing the country with a highly exaggerated image of Trump as a successful businessman, like a heavy snowstorm. We did irreparable harm by creating the false image of Trump as a successful leader, Miller wrote. I deeply regret that, and I regret that it has taken me so long to go public. Speaking as a born and bred Republican, Miller warned, if you believe that Trump will be better for you or better for the country, that is an illusion, much like The Apprentice was. He strongly urged people to vote for Kamala Harris. The country will be better off, and so will you. A new video shown last night on Jimmy Kimmel Live even more powerfully illustrated the collapse of Trump's tough guy image. Written by Jesse Joyce of Comedy Central, the 2-minute video featured actor and retired professional wrestler Dave Bautista dominating his sparring partner in a boxing ring, and then telling those who think Trump is some sort of tough guy that he's not. Working out in a gym, Bautista insults Trump's heavy makeup, out-of-shape body, draft dodging, and physical weakness, and notes that he sells imaginary baseball cards pretending to be a cowboy fireman when he's barely strong enough to hold an umbrella. Bautista says Trump's two-handed method of drinking water looks like a little pink chickadee and goes on to make a raunchy observation about Trump's stage dancing. He's moody, he pouts, he throws tantrums, Bautista goes on. He's cattier on social media than a middle school mean girl. Bautista ends by listing Trump's fears of rain, dogs, windmills, and being laughed at. And mostly, Bautista concludes, he's terrified that real, red-blooded American men will find out that he's a weak, tubby toddler. Calling Trump a whiny bitch, Bautista walks away from the camera. The sketch was billed as comedy, but it was deadly serious in its takedown of the key element of Trump's political power. And he seems vulnerable. Forbes and Newsweek have recently questioned his mental health. Yesterday, the Boston Globe ran an op-ed saying, Trump's decline is too dangerous to ignore. We can see the decline in the former president's ability to hold a train of thought, speak coherently, or demonstrate a command of the English language, to say nothing of policy. Trump's Fox News Channel town hall yesterday got 2.9 million viewers. Harris's interview got 7.1 million. Today, Trump canceled yet another appearance, this one with the National Rifle Association in Savannah, Georgia, scheduled for October 22nd, where he was supposed to be the keynote speaker. Meanwhile, Vice President Harris today held rallies in Milwaukee, Green Bay, and La Crosse, Wisconsin. In La Crosse, MAGA hecklers tried to interrupt her while she was speaking about the centrality of the 3 Trump-appointed Supreme Court justices to the overturning of the 1973 Roe v. Wade decision that recognized the constitutional right to abortion. "Oh, you guys are at the wrong rally," Harris called to them with a smile and a wave. As the crowd roared with approval, she added, "No, I think you meant to go to the smaller one down the street."